Christmas University Challenge. Asking the questions, I'm old Roger.
Hello and welcome to Christmas University Challenge, where two more teams of graduates are about to demonstrate the value of a university education by correctly answering some very difficult quiz questions, or at least that's the idea. They're playing for a place in the semi-finals of this short competition, and they do well to keep in mind that only the highest scoring winners from this round will be going through. Playing on behalf of Worcester College, Oxford are, firstly, a multi-award-winning poet, playwright and librettist whose recent works include the collections The Big Calls and How the Hell Are You? He's also taught at multiple universities and is currently head of studies on the Writing MA at the Poetry School. Their second player is also a writer whose new novel, The Matchbox Girl, will be published in 2025. She's also a campaigner on issues including climate justice and, with members of the University and College Union, the use of short-term contracts in higher education. Their captain is one of the UK's best-known food critics. He's the Mail on Sunday's restaurant critic and a regular judge on MasterChef, as well as the author of 9 food books, including 2024's Cooking and the Crown. Completing the team is a respiratory scientist who is one of the most cited researchers in the world. He's a Fellow of the Royal Society, a Professor at Imperial, and in 2023 was knighted for services to respiratory medicine. Let's meet the team from Worcester College, Oxford.
I'm Glyn Maxwell. I studied English and I graduated in 1985.
I'm Alice Jolly and I studied modern history and I graduated in 1989.
And their captain.
I'm Tom Parker Bowles. I studied English and I graduated in 1997.
I'm Peter Barnes. I graduated in medicine in 1972.
Their opponents all studied at the University of Bristol and include, firstly, the award-winning writer and broadcaster behind the BBC podcasts The Battersea Poltergeist, The Witch Farm and Uncanny, also a TV series, which collectively have over 40 million plays. He's also the creator of the West End play 222, A Ghost Story, which was nominated for 3 Oliviers. Next to him is a chef and presenter whose TV career was launched when she took part in the Great British Bake Off. She's since gone on to host Escape to the Country and Food Unwrapped and can regularly be seen demonstrating recipes and cooking tips on BBC One's Morning Live. Their captain began his career as a civil liberties lawyer before turning to politics. He's twice made history as the UK's first black cabinet minister and its first black ambassador. And in 2010, he was appointed to the House of Lords. Their final player is a science and sustainability presenter for the BBC, nominated by Harvard as a climate creator to watch. He's worked with Blue Peter, Morning Live and BBC Sport and recently joined the BBC Bite Size podcast team. He also hosts the CBeebies show Get Set Galactic. Let's hear them introduce themselves.
I'm Danny Robbins and I studied English and drama, graduating in 1998.
I'm Bryony May Williams. I studied a postgraduate certificate in education and I graduated in 2010.
And their captain.
I'm Paul Boateng. I studied law and graduated in 1973.
I'm James Stewart. I studied geographical science and I graduated in 2011.
OK, guys, welcome to Christmas University Challenge. How are we feeling?
Good.
Great.
All right. OK.
Raring to go.
Let's see if your confidence is justified. Fingers on buzzers. Here's your first starter for 10. Good luck. What 3 letters appear at the end of the titles of the following fictional works? Kate Chopin's 1899 novel about Edna Pontellier, a young woman who abandons her family. William Rowley and Thomas Middleton's Jacobean tragedy about Beatrice, a woman in love.
Worcester Jolly.
ING.
Yes, that's right. It was The Awakening and The Changeling. Your bonuses then, Worcester, are 3 questions on designers of the Christmas tree at Claridge's Hotel in London. Featuring a series of inverted spruce trees placed around the hotel lobby, the 2017 installation was designed by which German fashion designer and photographer who died 2 years later? He's particularly known for his work at Chanel.
But is it designer or is it photographer? So if it's Lagerfeld, if it's Chanel, but if it's photographer, Herb Ritz. Yeah, try Lagerfeld. Karl Lagerfeld?
Well done. Which French fashion designer contributed the 2019 installation, which included a traditional tree in red and gold, dressed with gingerbread stiletto shoes?
Manolo Blahnik. Manolo Blahnik. No, that's Christian Louboutin.
Finally, which French fashion house created the 2023 installation, which comprised an abstract tree made up of chrome travel cases framed by two huge open Mal Vestiaire wardrobe trunks?
Louis Vuitton?
It is indeed, yes. Now let's start the question. I need the name of a work here. Quote, I tried to conceive the composition as a whole. I heard it as a sort of musical kaleidoscope of America, of our vast melting pot, of our unduplicated national pep, of our blues, our metropolitan madness. To what piece of music that premiered in 1924 as part of an experiment in modern music do these words refer? They were uttered by its composer, George Gershwin.
Worcester Maxwell.
Rhapsody in Blue.
It is Rhapsody in Blue, yes, well done. Your bonuses then, Worcester, 3 questions on a Canadian territory. 2024 saw the 25th anniversary of the creation of which territory of Canada? It was formed from the eastern parts of the Northwest Territory to provide self-governance for the Inuit population.
Manitoba.
It's not hot. It's not hot.
Not Manitoba. That's the only one I know. Manitoba?
No, Manitoba is a province. The territory we're after is Nunavut. Located in Nunavut, what is the name of the weather station and military outpost that lays claim to be the world's northernmost permanently inhabited settlement? It is named after a Royal Navy vessel that wintered there in the 1870s.
Endurance?
No, it's Alert. With a population of about 7,500, Nunavut's capital city, Iqaluit, is located on which island? Canada's largest and the 5th largest in the world.
I think it's Ellesmere.
Ellesmere.
No, bad luck. It's Baffin Island, also known as Kikik-Taluk. Now, let's start the question now. No conferring. I need a Greek-derived term here. The savoury pastries known as burek and the dessert food baklava are made using what kind of pastry?
Bristol Williams.
Philo.
It is phyllo. Well done. You're off the mark. Your bonuses then, Bristol, are 3 questions on geology. What commonly occurring form of iron disulfide has a name derived from the Greek for fire? It is also known as fool's gold.
Is it? It's not hematite, is it?
Yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah.
I have no idea. So
Try hematite. Is it hematite?
No, that was pyrite. The name of what fine-grained metamorphic rock comes from a French word meaning splinter because it splits easily into sheets of relatively high tensile strength?
Is it flint?
Yes. Flint?
No, that was slate. Also known as plumbago and consisting of carbon, what mineral takes its name from the Greek word for to write?
To right.
To right.
in Greek, I don't know.
Oh, that must be graphite.
Oh, yeah.
Graphite.
It is graphite. Well worked out. Well done. Right, picture round now, picture starter. For your picture starter, you're going to see the list of chapters in a novel. For 10 points, I want you to tell me the character name that has been removed from that list.
Worcester Parker Bowles.
Marley.
It was indeed Marley. For your picture starter, you saw a list of chapters in Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol with Marley's name removed. Your picture bonuses will be 3 more selections of chapters from Dickens' novels with names removed. In each case, I need you to give me the missing name and note that from now, all are the title characters of the novels in which they appear. First, just a surname here is acceptable.
It is Pickwick.
Well done, Samuel Pickwick. Secondly,
Fellow Travers. David Coffer? No. Marshall does what? Dorrit. Dorrit.
well done, Little Dorrit. Lastly,
That would have been Nickleby, no? Nickleby?
no, that's Oliver Twist.
Oh.
Now, let's start the question now. Surrounded by the limbal ring, what structure in the human body is divided into 2 zones by a line known as the collarette? This structure's colour results from a combination of eumelanin and pheomelanin, and in mammals it contains smooth muscles whose contractions control the degree of pupil dilation.
Bristol Stewart.
It's not right. I was going to say gill.
No, I'm afraid you lose 5 points. Control the degree of pupil dilation.
Worcester Parker Bowles.
I.
I can't accept, I'm afraid. I needed iris. Bad luck. Fingers on buzzers, here's another starter question. On the coast of what country does the Greenwich Meridian meet the Gulf of Guinea? Further north in Africa, the meridian passes through Algeria, Mali, Burkina Faso and a small part of Togo before meeting the Gulf approximately 75 kilometres west of...
Bristol Bourting.
Ghana.
Correct, well done, yes. Your bonuses then, Bristol, are 3 questions on cooking techniques. What low-temperature cooking method involves cooking vacuum-sealed food slowly in a water bath? The second part of its French name means vacuum.
Brownie.
Sous vide.
Yes. Roughly translating as to braise or to stew, what 3-letter term describes a Vietnamese cooking technique in which meat or seafood is prepared over low heat in a mixture of fish sauce, sugar and water?
It's not flat, is it?
Vietnamese. I don't know.
Pho, P-H-O.
Yeah, that's why I thought.
Yeah, Danny.
Pho?
It's co. Kalawa is the name given to a whole pig seasoned only with sea salt and cooked in an imu, a covered underground pit of heated lava rocks. It is a traditional dish in which US state?
Hawaii.
It is Hawaii. Well done. Let's start the question now. What colour appears in the titles of all of the following films? A 2009 Claire Denis film that stars Isabelle Huppert as a coffee plantation owner. A 1992 basketball comedy starring Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes.
Worcester Parker Bowls.
White.
It is white. Well done. Yeah. Your bonuses then, Worcester, are 3 questions on an event of 1924. In 1924, the title of Muslim Caliph was stripped from the head of the former ruling dynasty of which empire that had been abolished in 1922? Its rulers had claimed the title of Caliph since as early as the 16th century.
Egypt.
No, it's the Ottomans. The Sharif of Mecca, Hussein ibn Ali, subsequently proclaimed himself Caliph, but was opposed by colonial powers and the House of Saud. Of what Arab dynasty was Hussein head? They currently occupy the throne of Jordan.
Hashemite.
Tom, bad luck. It's actually, as I think Glyn used, the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. Bad luck. Finally, the abolition of the Ottoman Caliphate was done at the instigation of which statesman, then president of the newly proclaimed Republic of Turkey?
Ataturk.
Correct. Now let's start the question. The End by Heather Phillipson, Gift Horse by Hans Hacker, and Nelson's Ship in a Bottle by Yinka Shonibare are some of the artworks that have been commissioned for display at what specific location?
Bristol Robbins.
The 4th plinth.
In Trafalgar Square, indeed. Well done. Your bonuses then, Bristol, are on religious commemorations in the week after Christmas. Which English Saint's Day falls on the 29th of December, the anniversary of his martyrdom in 1170?
I have no idea.
St Alban. St Alban.
No, that's Thomas à Becket. Said to have converted Emperor Constantine to Christianity, a pope of what name is commemorated on New Year's Eve? A regnal name alone is enough here.
I mean, Pope name's Francis. I don't know any other.
Yeah, I don't know any. I'm not a clue, I'm afraid.
Bartholomew. Francis. Francis.
No, it's Sylvester I. The 1st of January marks what event in the life of Jesus? A practice which, in Jewish tradition, occurs 8 days after the birth of a male child?
The circumcision.
It is indeed, yes. Let's start the question now. It's a music round. For your music starter, you're going to hear a piece of pop music from the late 20th century. For 10 points, name the artist.
She's got a cigarette on each arm. Bristol Robbins.
Beck.
It is Beck. Well done.
Well done, that man.
You just heard part of The New Pollution by Beck, who was one of the headliners of the very first Coachella Music Festival, held 25 years ago this year. For your bonuses, you'll hear tracks by 3 more groups who performed at the first Coachella Festival. 5 points for each act you can identify. First, this British band.
Cream.
It's not the Stones, is it? Very early, though.
Could be Jamie. Do you say that?
It's not.
I'm not sure.
Stone Roses, maybe?
Come on. Cream. What year is it?
Come on.
Early 2000s.
Try. Cream.
No, it's Spiritualised. I Think I'm in Love. Secondly, this American band.
Birds. Is it Andy Warhol?
It's a good guess. I don't know.
Lemonheads.
Lemon heads? Let's
go with one.
Lemon heads?
Big one.
Lemon's heads. Lemon heads.
However you pronounce it, it's definitely wrong, I'm afraid. It's Cut Your Hair by Pavement. And finally...
I'm sure they're great.
Oh, this is Underworld. Underworld.
Of course it's Underworld with Born Slippery, yeah. 5 points in it. Another starter question. Fingers on buzzers. For what do the letters EN stand in the acronym ENSO, indicating a recurrent climate pattern affecting the temperature of water in certain regions of the Pacific Ocean? This phenomenon was given its name by South American fishermen, who noticed that it typically peaked around Christmas time.
Worcester Parker Bowles.
El Nino.
It is indeed El Nino, yes. Your bonuses then, Worcester, are on scientific centenaries that occurred in 2024. 2024 marks 100 years since the development of the first vaccine against which often deadly disease brought on by toxins produced by Clostridium bacteria and characterised by painful muscle spasms.
Botulism.
No, it's tetanus. 2024 was the 100th anniversary of the discovery of which fossil skull by Raymond Dart, hailed at the time as a missing link, named for the South African town where it was unearthed. It became the first identified species of Australopithecus.
Lucy. Is it Lucy? Lucy? Yeah, just try it. Lucy?
No, it's the tongue, child or skull. On December the 30th, 1924, which US astronomer announced his discovery that Andromeda, previously thought to be a nebula, was in fact another galaxy, suggesting that the Milky Way was just one among many. A major space telescope bears his name.
Hubble? Hubble?
It is Edwin Hubble, yes, well done. Now let's start the question. What two words can come after all of the following? Congo, in the name of King Leopold II of Belgium's privately owned colonial possessions in the Congo Basin, infamous for the atrocities committed therein. Orange, in the name of a Boer republic and later province of South Africa. And Irish, in the name of the...
Worcester Maxwell.
Free Republic?
No, I'm afraid you lose 5 points.
Bristol Robbins.
Democratic Republic.
No, the answer is Free State. OK, another starter question now. Just to reiterate, no conferring in starters, please. As well as apples dipped in honey for a sweet new year, what fruit is commonly eaten during the Jewish festival of Rosh Hashanah to fulfil the tradition of eating a new fruit on the second night? A popular misconception is that this fruit is eaten because its large number of seeds coincide...
Worcester Maxwell.
Pomegranate?
It is indeed a pomegranate. Well done. Your bonus is then, Worcester, on a work of art and poetry. Written in couplets and interspersed with the author's own watercolours, the book-length poem Tiepolo's Hound, published in 2000, is a work by which St. Lucian writer?
Derek Walcott.
Yes. In Tiepolo's Hound, Walcott contrasts the narrator's experience with that of which impressionist artist, described cryptically in the poem as hidden in the word Paris. He emigrated from the Caribbean island of St. Thomas to settle in France in the 1850s.
Impressionist, no. Dutch Impressionist. That's the one book I don't know of it. So Dutch Impressionists. Any Dutch Impressionists? Anyone know any Dutch Impressionists? No. This is definitely Dutch.
I think so.
Sicily?
No, it's Camille Pissarro. Also in Tiepolo's Hound, the line, "The gathering blow of a storm with tossing gulls," refers to which painting in the National Gallery by Turner? Its subtitle is "Tug to Her Last Berth to be Broken Up."
What? Oh, you can say it loudly.
Most famous Fighting Tamara.
Fighting Tamara.
Correct, yes. Let's start the question. Corresponding in early medieval Germanic usage to the Roman coin known as the solidus, what word for a unit of currency in slightly different spellings links the present-day currencies of Somalia, Tanzania and Kenya, the currency of Austria before the euro, and...
Worcester Barnes.
Shilling.
It is indeed the shilling, yes. 3 questions for you, Worcester, on Welsh songs. A traditional folk song based on words written by Richard Davies in the late 19th century and particularly associated with the Scarlets and Llanelli rugby teams has a 2-word title in which the word fach, meaning small, follows the name of what household object?
Spoon? Spoon?
No, it's a saucepan. Meaning we're still here, Amar O'Heed celebrates the Roman Emperor Maxen, or Magnus Maximus, who went from Wales and left us a whole nation. In what century did he live? He was later killed by Theodosius the Great.
Fifth?
No, it's the 4th. For Wales, Our Country by Lewis Valentine is sometimes described as a second national anthem. It's often set to the music of what patriotic piece by Jean Sibelius, composed in 1899?
Finlandia.
No, bad luck, Tom. I can't accept that. It's Finlandia, as Professor Barnes was saying, I think. And I think what you said was Fernandia. Sorry, got to be brutal, even though it's Christmas. Right, picture round now, picture starter. For your picture starter, you're going to see a self-portrait, and for 10 points, I need you to name the artist.
Bristol Boateng.
Hogarth.
It is William Hogarth, yes, the painter and his pug. Well done. Your bonuses then. For your picture starter, you saw a self-portrait by William Hogarth, which was one of the 38 original paintings in the collection of the National Gallery when it was founded 200 years ago. For your bonus, 3 more paintings from the gallery's original collection. In each case, I need you to name the artist. First, this Italian artist.
Oh, gosh. Tintoretto?
I'm not sure.
Tintoretto.
No, it's Raphael. Secondly, this artist.
It's the rape of the Sabines, isn't it? I say Tintoretto.
Oh, no, gosh.
Well, I don't know.
Titian.
Titian.
No, bad luck. It was a depiction of the Sabine women, but it was by Rubens. Lastly, this British artist.
Oh, that's...
Joshua Reynolds.
It is Sir Joshua Reynolds with a portrait of Lord Heathfield. Let's start the question. In 1941, police officer Albert Alexander became the first person to be treated with what pharmaceutical drug?
Worcester Barnes.
Penicillin.
It is penicillin, yes. Your bonus is also 3 questions on an actor who turned 100 years old in 2024. Who made her feature film debut in Elia Kazan's 1954 film On the Waterfront, in a role for which she would win the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress?
Wasn't Natalie Wood. No. On the Waterfront, you've got Brando, you've got, Elizabeth Taylor.
Come on.
100 years. Natalie Wood.
No, it's Eva Marie Saint. In which 1959 film, directed by Alfred Hitchcock, did Saint portray double agent Eve Kendall opposite Cary Grant?
Thailand for murder. Come on. Roman Holiday. Suspicion. Thailand for murder. No, because he wasn't. No, Cary Grant. It was Marnie.
No, it's North by Northwest. Saint would later have a recurring role as the mother of private detective Maddie Hayes, played by Sybil Shepherd, in which comedy drama series of the 1980s?
Moonlighting.
Correct. Let's start the question. First elected as an MP for Middlesbrough East in 1924, which future Minister for Education would later lead a march of unemployed workers to the Houses of Parliament from her...
Worcester Maxwell.
Nyron Bevan.
I'm afraid you lose 5 points. From her then constituency of Jarrow.
Bristol Robbins.
Mo Mowlam.
Mo Mowlam in 1924.
Oh, no, God, sorry. Oh, dear.
She'd be very offended if she were here. No, it was Wilkinson. Let's start the question. A new Cunard ship, Queen Anne, began its maiden voyage from Southampton in May 2024, before arriving in which UK city for the official naming ceremony? The liner's captain, Inga Thorhauger, called this city Cunard's spiritual home, as the company was based there for 128 years, until 1967.
Bristol Stewart.
Liverpool.
It is Liverpool, yes. Your bonuses then, Bristol, are 3 questions on enzymes. Produced in several species of bacteria, plants and fungi, the enzyme invertase catalyses the breakdown of what compound, also known as table sugar?
Sucrose.
Yes. Symbiotic bacteria in the guts of some herbivores produce an enzyme that helps to break down what polysaccharide, the primary structural compound in plant cell walls?
In plant cell.
Oh, no, that's in sugar.
Cellulite.
No, cellulose.
Say like something quite different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cellulite is something very different, as I would know all too well. The enzyme encoded by the LCT gene and secreted by cells lining the small intestine helps to metabolise which sugar? The main one found in milk.
Lactose.
Lactose is correct. 20 points in it, 4 minutes to go. What 5-letter adjective appears in the titles of all of the following? A 1967 book by English zoologist and ethologist Desmond Morris. A 1959...
Bristol Boateng.
Naked.
It is naked.
You sound surprised. Wow, Paul.
Your bonuses then, Bristol, 3 questions on literary robins. Quote, it is enough to smell to crumble the dark earth while the robin sings over again sad songs of autumn mirth. These lines conclude Digging, a short poem by which writer? Most of his poems were published after his death at Arras in 1917.
So it's a war poet.
War
It
poem.
must be.
It's a poem, not
Is
spin.
it?
Owen?
Yeah, try Wilfred Owen. Yeah. Do you think?
Wilfred Owen.
No, it's Edward Thomas. In which of Shakespeare's plays does Speed tell Valentine that he knows Valentine is in love because Valentine has learnt, quote, to relish a love song like a robin redbreast?
Gosh, which one is Valentine?
Othello, King Lear, Hamlet,
Say it again.
Romeo and Juliet.
Oh God, I don't
Come
know.
on.
Pass.
Is it
Danny?
Just say anyone.
We'll try Twelfth Night.
No, it's Two Gentlemen of Verona. The Robin Who Showed the Way is the title of Chapter 8 of which 1911 children's story? It centres around Mary Lennox, an orphan sent from India to live with her uncle and sickly cousin on the Yorkshire moors.
Sort of try Anne of Green Gables.
Anne of Green Gables.
No, it's The Secret Garden. Now, start the question. What Latin word satisfies all of the following definitions? The fourth segment of an insect's leg, an ancient flute known in Greek as aulos, and the anatomical name for the second longest bone in the human body.
Bristol Robins.
Thorax.
No, you may not confer, Worcester. You may not confer, but have a guess if you want to. Come on.
Worcester Barnes.
Tibia.
It is tibia, yes. Your bonuses are on English spa towns. Described as the English spa fountain, following its discovery in the late 1500s, Tuit Well is located in which North Yorkshire town? It stands on what is now a green space known as the Stray.
Harrogate.
Yes, the Roman bath town of Aquae Arnamitii was located on the site of which modern-day spa town in Derbyshire, approximately 20 miles from Matlock Bath?
Buxton.
Yes. Which spa town in Surrey gives its name to a form of magnesium sulfate, which is present in its waters and which is often sold for therapeutic use in domestic baths?
Leamington. Is that sorry or no? Sorry. Leamington.
No, it's Epsom. Let's start the question. What short designation is common to mountain ranges whose peaks include the Cobbler, Norikura, Aoraki, Kosciuszko and Jungfrau?
Worcester Maxwell.
Alps.
Yes, it is. Your bonuses are 3 questions on artistic references to the Venus de Milo sculpture. Written by saxophonist Jerry Mulligan, the track Venus de Milo appears on the 1957 album Birth of the Cool by which jazz trumpeter and bandleader?
Miles Davis.
Yes. The addition of sound to films was, possibly apocryphally, described as putting lipstick on the Venus de Milo by which actress of the silent era, who co-founded United Artists and won an Acting Academy Award for her role in Coquette?
Is it Mae West? Mae West.
No, it's Mary Pickford. 28 reproductions of the Venus de Milo appear in the painting The Hallucinogenic Toreador, a work of 1970 by which Spanish artist?
Picasso or Dali? Dali.
It is Salvador Dali, yes. Another start question. What 2 letters begin French words meaning shutter? And at the gong, Bristol have 105, and Worcester have 155. I think, Guy, that's such bad luck. I think that score is slightly misleading because it was so tight until Peter turned up with the word tibia right and he lingered for ages knowing he was right just to make the suffering as bad as possible. I'm so sorry, but it was a terrific game. You played so well. And on your specialist subjects, you knew a huge amount, including about cooking and baking, Bryony, which is the key thing. So you're not going to get cancelled by the baking community of Britain.
Thank goodness.
Well done. Well done. It's been a real pleasure to have you. Worcester, you made it very stressful for yourselves, but you got to 155 points. The nature of this competition means we don't yet know if we'll see you again. We'll have to wait and see how the others get on. I hope you can join us next time for another match in this Christmas series. But until then, it is goodbye from Bristol.
Goodbye.
Bye.
It is also goodbye from Worcester College, Oxford.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.